Hello, everyone. I am Sering from Elite Link Education. I am so honored today to invite one of our student parents, Kai, here to talk about his experience as a parent to guide his son's college application process. So he has years of experience in finance industry, and he is a wonderful public speaker. And most importantly, he is an amazing father. I'm always impressed and touched by his story between him and his son, Kane. So today I invited him to share some of his story with you guys. So first, Kai, so as a father, like how do you describe the relationship between father and children?
Well, I'm trying to I guess trying to balancing between a father's role and also to be the best friend to him as well, so that he can talk to me about everything and anything, and I can also coach him on things that I think is important. At the same time, I'm also trying to allow him to fail so that he can learn from the mistake as well. Obviously, if he tell me that he want to close his eye and walk across the street, I probably will put a hard stop on it and tell him that he has to open his eye and walk across the street. But I think my relationship with my son is that it's always a balancing act. You know, on one hand, you want to coach him. On the other hand, you want to be his best friends. So he and I can talk about, many different things, including school, stress, what he want to do for fun, what he want to do for life, what bothers him, what excited him, that sort of thing. So I would say I like to consider myself as a cool dad to my son. So he and I can talk. We play a lot of sports together: tennis, badminton, soccer. We run together. We study together.
One story that I personally really love is you run with Ken, and I think he used his first paycheck to buy you sports shoes, right?
Yeah.
I love that story. Like, how do
Yeah.
you?
So I'm trying to promote this healthy lifestyle, healthy attitude, also trying to I guess motivate him to learn think about life through running. So sometimes I run with him, sometimes I teach him how to run, and oftentimes when you run as a beginner, you have tendency of run too fast, and then 2 seconds later you run out of energy. So I always try to coach him about pacing himself, that sort of thing. And I myself, I do a lot of training on running, and he knows that I love to run. He also knows that I participate in a lot of in a race. So one of his paycheck, actually no, his first paycheck, the money from his first paycheck, he used that to buy me a running shoes, a very high-end running shoes, which arguably probably more expensive than Serene's high heel, I assume. So because some of the high-end running shoes are very expensive. So he used that. I was very touched by that. And then also as a side note, Serene, you probably don't know, he used the money that he earned from his summer job, bought my wife a Mother's Day gift, a very wonderful piece of necklace that my wife is wearing. So Ken is a wonderful kid, and we particularly me spend a lot of time with him and coach him. It's wonderful. And obviously, Soren, you've been wonderful too.
So yeah, talking about this. So how do you feel about Kane joining our Elite Link Education school application coaching program?
Well, at the beginning, honestly, I was a little bit, I was nervous, and I'm, very detailed person. I'm very control freak. So I always look at people in a very suspicious eye. They have to earn my trust first. So when I first talk to you, I look at you, no offense, you look like, you know, such a pretty young girl. Pretty is fine, but I was looking at you as a you know young is also a good quality, but young also associated with mistakenly as inexperienced. So when I was talking to you and join you know, your education application process, I was very impressed. You know, after I have, you know, my conversation with you, I realized that, you know, you and your team was very experienced, despite your young look. So maybe you are older than you look. I don't know, but so 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 I was you know, comfortable with that, and you obviously, you know, answer every single question that I ask, and you guide Kane along. And sometimes it's important that the student hear things from the consultant himself as opposed to uh, from the father or from the mother. Uh, so it's always like a game that I look at this almost like a teamwork, right? You guys provide the expertise uh, on this application process, and we as the parents work together with you guys, primarily you and your team, to make sure that the student, in this case, our son, can, you know, does his application and, you know, reflect the best of him on the application himself. And your experience in terms of what school is focusing on what it also I believe also very helpful during this process. Like for example, you know, Columbia University might looking at different things versus in NYU might be, you know, paying attention to a lot of different things as well. And you know, if you apply for engineering school, there's a different than you apply for business school. So there's certain education quality that you want to emphasize during the application process, and I think you/your team has been helpful. And you know, obviously, I think it's wonderful to have people like you, and you know, we as a parent, you know, I'm thankful to hire you, and you know, you earn a lot of respect from me, and I'm a tough guy to earn trust from, and so I want to peg your back to tell you that you passed my test, and
Thank you
um,
so much.
and the end result of this whole process, it has been successful. You know, my son was able to go to the school that he wanted to go. Um, so everybody's happy, and it's important because, you know, we are talking about creating a huge value to the student's life. The job you are doing, what I mentioned it 1,000 times, is very important for the student, very important to the parents. So you should be proud of what you do and what your team is doing. So that's all.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, I do remember the first couple times when Kai called me, he's like, okay, but you don't have kids. Like, do you really understand how complicated and how nervous I am? And in the end of the process, when Kane got a Manning offer, especially I remember one time you asked me, is it possible that he can't not get any offer? And I said, there's no way. Kane can definitely go to the school that he likes. So I feel like I'm really, really proud of Kane because in the beginning, the first time I talked to him, he seems like no, you need to apply school, but it's like very vague idea. But later, every week, me and my team meet with him and guide him. He start to understand what to do and what major to choose and why to choose that. And in the middle of the process, he start to have a very clear picture of what kind of campus life he wants, what kind of school he wants. And later he talk about, oh, maybe in the future, is there a possibility to transfer different major or even school? So he learned a lot as a student. And he also in the process, the one last story I really want to share is there's something about Ken that is really, really unique. And as his advisor, I'm really, really happy and feel lucky to witness his growth. So he his brother has the serious allergy, and then he told me that he want to join like the team, like volunteer in the hospital, so later he can better take care of his brother. That is something that come from like a really, really strong family support and bonding, and that's something I really, really want to share with everyone. And I'm really happy that King in the end can get the offer from his dream school, and everyone was really, really happy about this. So in the end, I also want to ask, so we talk about all the sweet and all the amazing stuff, like, so I want to ask, like, is there any challenge for you to give advice for Ken in terms of academic or career? Any challenge there? And how do you tackle the challenge?
Well, I mean, I think I can give you an example. I mean, the SAT score, for example, when Kang first started SAT, he took the SAT test and he wasn't that good at all, because he just did it without much of a preparation. And I told him that, I said, you might not care about SAT score, but people who look at the application, we care about SAT score.
Yes.
And SATs are very funny. It's outside of your control, outside of Serene's control, outside of your father's control. They only have, certain date that you can take the test on. And life/time is a one-way street. When today, June 29th is over, June 29th is over. You cannot go back to June 29th tomorrow. So I told Ken, if you fail the test or not doing it, to do well in the next one, and then if you don't do well next one, then your time window is getting less and less. So a smaller and smaller, tighter and tighter with time window. So it was kind of difficult. And as you know, SAT, test the student on multiple areas. There's a English area, there's a math area. English stuff I cannot really teach too much because I'm not native myself. But the math stuff I was able to teach him quite well. But even that is like almost like a building the house, because you need to have a very strong foundation. So if you don't have a strong foundation, you can only build so fast. So it was somewhat frustrating, but at the same time, you need to motivate him so that he can be more effective to what you try to teach him or try to coach him, without being I guess against. Sometimes kid can really turn to the left hand side if you tell them to make a right turn. So it was quite challenging, especially you have to, as I said, you have to run against the clock, right? Because every day, every week, time goes by. But at the end, I think it's important to use the combination of both, I guess, discipline approach, and also be soft, and sometimes be hard. And sometimes you play backup, sometimes you play, good cop, and sometimes you motivate him. And I always tell Ken, I said, it's important to have a good life in the future, to be able to be successful, and then everybody want to have a good life, but not everybody can have good lives. So I told Ken is, so the difference is that people who want life, they need to work hard for it. So he was able to understand, I would say 80 or 90% of the stuff that I wanted to tell him. And at the end, the SAT score was, okay. I mean, it's not bad, but could be better. He didn't get 1600, but it was good enough for him to get to the school that he wanted, and I was very proud of him. And so that's one of the frustrating / challenging / rewarding experience that we went through.
I remember, like, so first, not everyone is good at tests, and every student has the unique aspect or unique talent. And when I talked to King, I remember specifically one time I told him there is test optional choice, and he was, I can hear his voice like feel released a little bit right away. He's like, okay, I still have a backup choice. So I do think as his advisor and helping him, it's important to make the student feel safe that we always have a backup plan there, so that he can like try harder, knowing that he always have a self blanket to lend. I am very lucky to have you as a parents joining us and have Ken as my student to guide him. So I've been working with Ken for almost a year now. And so right now, getting to the dream college is the first step, right? And I hope that along the way for his career development, me and my team can still be there for him and for the family. Thank you so much for joining us for the interview.
No problem. No problem. All right. So you let me know if you want to have more questions, and yeah. Okay.
Okay, for sure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.